undead, where evil lurks in every shadow and monsters roam the streets, mankind's only survival rests in the hands of two Welsh warriors. Armed with boomsticks, chainsaws, bad language, these beacons of hope will stop at nothing to obliterate deadites, vampires, psychotic nurses. So, hold tight, strap in, and let the professionals take charge. Otherwise, you're in for a rough, blood-soaked night.
Hey! How's it going?
Happy Wednesday.
I know, we are live on Wednesday. We've been live before on Wednesday, but hopefully this is going to be like a second live show a week.
Yeah, fingers crossed. See how it turns out now. But it'd be nice to get 2 lives going a week.
We just see how grumpy you get when your bedtime starts looming.
I'm not the grumpy one here, right?
What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
Top off. Shit, Bill. Go on.
It's hard work. Do you know when I get home from work at about 5:30?
Yeah.
And it's hard to switch on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I get it.
Couldn't quite watch a film by the time I go home and you have food and stuff like that. You haven't quite got enough time for a film before you go live.
Yeah.
And then by the time you finish live, it's too late. You're tired. You go work in the morning.
Yes.
I'm putting my life on the line now.
Enjoy it while you can, because when you get to my age, when you got 2 kids in the house running around, you don't watch films. It's shit.
15 years away.
I know, it's fucking shit. We can't even watch like an episode these days. It's so difficult. Honestly, like...
You're texting me at least 10 times a week with stars of films you've watched.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all. You just said there's no time to watch a film. It's like, I text you about maybe 2 films a week.
Yeah, maybe, I'd say so.
On Sunday, I know we said this on Sunday, but I went to a double bill in the cinema and I watched Working Man and Woman in the Yard. And that was the first time I'd ever gone back-to-back cinema. And somebody told me, one of my clients said, "Oh, you must have got a bit bored." I was like, "No, I was in heaven. There was no one in the cinema. It's just like no kids. It's just no talkers." I was like, "No, I was literally in heaven. It was just so nice." And there's something about the morning showing, I think.
Yeah. But I think we've had a quiet couple of weeks, but we're gonna get back on track soon. We're gonna get 2 lives out a week.
Yeah.
I've already reached out to a few people to get some collabs going. We've got Movie Squirm next Wednesday. Wolfman is going away for 15 days to Spain. Lucky gets.
That's selfish.
Once Wolfman's back, we'll get something sorted with him, and we'll just start reaching out again, Jenks. Start getting the collabs going.
Yeah, I think, I think we just got to be lazy reaching out because there's a lot of prep in the background of trying to lock these people down on perfect dates and things.
Especially when they're in America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. What we're doing today is a Paranormal Activity movie tier rank.
Yes.
We haven't done this for a while. You watched the whole thing in a row recently, didn't you?
Yes, so I did bring this up with me. So I have recently bought the box set.
Oh, nice.
Very nice box set, and it comes with a documentary, Jenks. It's about 2 hours long. They deep dive into every single film singularly. So they spend a good 20 minutes on each film, and they run down the whole process of making it. The most fascinating one is the first one, obviously.
Yeah.
In terms of how it was made, because Oren Peli is probably, Jenks, the most novice director there has ever been. Honestly, right? No skills or previous management at all in movies. Yeah. He literally just bought a camera and said, "I'm going to make a movie," and that was it. Yeah. Somehow he spawned one of the biggest horror franchises in the world.
And got Spielberg eyes on it as well, which is incredible.
Yeah, but the craziest thing about it is, right, he's not a filmmaker. He didn't want to be a filmmaker. He just thought he had an idea to make a film to make money. So he made so much money off the first film. They asked him to come back to do the second one, and he went, "No, I'm okay."
What's he done
That's it,
since? What's he done since? I know he's been part of the franchise. Like he's a producer in, I
Yeah.
think, all of them, even the last one. I'm
Yes,
almost
so
positive.
he's almost got a full step back from them, other than a producing credit. He directed one more movie, and it was called Area 51, and it was another found footage movie that didn't do well.
I think I've seen that. It wasn't. Yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah.
But you're looking at a man with no skills in filmmaking now, and he pulled off this perfect movie, the first one, and obviously Area 51 is on a bigger scale with more money involved, and I suppose he just didn't have the skills for it.
So I heard that the ending wasn't very good in the first one, and Spielberg gave him $7,000 to change it. I don't know if that's an urban legend. Have you heard that?
I know that he did go back and change a lot. So when he got his first lot of funding for the movie, he actually went back and changed loads, brought the actors back in and added better things into it.
Yeah.
So the first product that he sent out, everyone agreed that it was impressive, it was a good experience, but it was missing loads.
Yeah.
So he took loads of notes from everyone, went back and filmed loads and changed the ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy story, Jenks.
And it spawned 7 movies. That's more. No, it's on a par with Elm Street. Arguably the most famous horror franchise ever.
And I will say there's weaker ones, but there isn't one terrible Paranormal Activity.
Well, we'll soon find out. No, Kurt. Yeah.
I bet you haven't even seen them all. Have you seen them all?
Of course I've seen them all. I just haven't got a box set, that's all. Should we say hello to a few people?
Yes, let's do it. Do you want me to read a few comments out?
Yeah.
Right, we've got Jill John. Evening, Curtis and Jenks. Evening, Jill. Hope you're doing well. We've got Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Evening, Curtis and Jenks. We've got the Palfinator. Evening, all. Another midweek treat. Isn't it always a treat to see our faces on a Wednesday?
Always a treat.
Come
Always.
Oh, we've got Skilly Automatic. Hey, y'all. How you doing? We've got the man, John Moran. Evening, all. Link arrived today, Jod, and I haven't watched it all yet, right? But I chucked on a couple of minutes just to see what the transfer's like. Beautiful, pal. I'm going to be watching it on again tonight. We've got Gina. Hi, everyone. Hi, Gina. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Gina.
Jordan says, I have to make the time to go to the cinema to ensure I get peace. Watching in the house, I find I tap out too easy. Too many distractions, yeah. I mean, the best immersive experience you can possibly get is in cinema, and it'll be a goddamn shame if cinema dies. I can see it getting there at some point, Jenks. Cinema dying.
I would say it's going to become like an event thing, like a theatre. So like a Chris Nolan film or an Endgame Marvel, something big where everyone goes, or an Avatar.
Jenks, Gina has never seen a Paranormal Activity movie.
I would look. We're going to talk in a second. The first one is the best one. Look, if you like the first one, like it's worth. If you like Blair Witch, it's probably a bit more action packed than Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Like you don't see a lot in Blair Witch, and it's a tough sale for somebody who's maybe younger, who's used to seeing more visceral things and action. Because I stuck on Blair Witch for my daughter, and I was like, kind of tighten up that what little happens.
Yeah.
I'd say with Paranormal Activity, much more happens, even though it's still a slow burner, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Spot on, Jenks.
Yeah.
We've got Ryan as well. Hiya, Ryan, mate. How you doing? Right, we're all caught up, Jenks. Everyone in the chat.
I'm really hoping that if we do a Wednesday and a Sunday, we'll get similar people, but we'll get some new people who can't make our Sunday or a Wednesday. That's the idea. Hopefully.
Yeah, of course.
Right, are we ready? So the first one up is Paranormal Activity 1.
Yes.
I'm almost going to say Paranormal Farm all the time because my client of mine...
your client.
He's obsessed with it. It's free. I'm sure it's free on YouTube. It's meant to be shit. But it wasn't even on Rotten Tomatoes. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Curtis has left me again. Oh my God, left me hanging. Let's see if we can get him back. Where is he? Hello? What happened then?
I accidentally knocked my Ethernet cable.
I felt like somebody pointed out in the comments when I was on my own the other day. I did feel like Garth from Wayne's World when he's on his own. When Wayne, he's gone again. He's doing it on purpose now. I'll do it too, man. Right, we got part 1. If this one came out, got my notes, but it's gone now. Hang on. Came out 2009. I don't know what's going on with Curtis. He's gone again. Anyway, the show must go on. I'm not going to have stage fright like last time. Came out 2009, and it was kind of pitted as a kind of a Blair Witch / Ghost Watch, where it's pretty much a straightforward sort of plot where a couple move into a house. They think it's haunted. The husband sets up some cameras, and we see the story unfold. I absolutely adore this movie. This is one of my favorite sort of found footage movies. It's got some of the most iconic moments I've seen in any film, really. He's back. Did you do that on purpose, or was something wrong?
No, God, no. I didn't do it on purpose.
Hey, I didn't have stage fright this time.
I was watching.
I was professional. Yes, what do you think of this one, Kurt? I given the rundown of the plot.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the best found footage movies ever made. I remember it coming out. It came to us quite late.
Sorry.
Look at that clip, terrifying. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It came to us quite late, but I remember about 20 of us going to cinema to see this one. I remember the ads for it. Probably one of the most excited I was quite young when it came out, so it was a big cinema experience. You know, I liked Blair Witch when I was a kid, so I was looking for that thing for myself, you know, something that I could experience in cinema.
Yep.
And it absolutely killed me. And I remember, right, that I've never felt aircon in a cinema, and I'm watching the film and it's at the peak, right, where it gets the most scary. And I remember aircon just hitting me on my neck and then going down my back. And I've always been quite superstitious, Jenks, right?
Yeah.
If I'm in the house and I hear a little noise or you know, a little crack or something, my head goes straight to ghost. I've always been that type of superstitious person.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the cinema and I feel this cold breeze going down my back and I shit myself. Everything I said at the start, Jenks, it's one of the most impressive movies ever made.
Yeah.
You cannot tell that this movie was made by a novice, somebody who's never touched a camera in his life.
You saying about
Jenks?
Yes.
It is not my favourite Paranormal Activity movie. Okay. Not even my second favourite.
All right. So, should we get the tier out?
Yes.
So, we have got... I hate to it because it's so small. I'll just show you quickly. Makes no difference, that hasn't. It's made it big enough. So you got shit at the bottom. Casper. Then we've got, I can't even see what I've written, Goza, and then Top Notch. I was a bit lazy in the top one. I couldn't think of something.
Extra lazy, Jesus.
Well, believe it or not, I forgot to put him in. And while you were saying hello to to our viewers, I was writing them in quick. That's why I went a bit quiet. Top Notch is a lazy man's one. Anyway, we could have said excellent, good, average, shit. It's got to be shit. And they don't have a brown colour, which is a shame for this tier maker because I know grey is close enough. Anyway, what are you going to put it in?
Damn shame.
I'll go first because I said first. I'm going to put it, where is it? Top Notch.
Yeah,
Top Notch.
Even though it's not my favourite Paranormal Activity movie, I'm still going to put in Top Notch because it's a fantastic film.
Good boy.
Has to go in Top Notch.
Yeah, Top Notch is like a... Is it a Welsh word? Did people say that anywhere else? Top Notch. Top
Notch, boy.
Because, let me tell you, just a quick side note, right? When Dawn of the Dead 2004 came out, right? There was a review on a Welsh channel, and I don't speak Welsh, and they were just like, get a bit of Top Notch. And I thought, oh!
Yeah.
And I was laughing, okay, so I didn't need to understand any of that, just the Top Notch. Yes, that was my impression of a Welsh speaker, Kurt. A bit of
Do you know what? for a Welshman, it was pretty shit.
Yes. Should we read a few comments regarding this one? I'll
Yeah,
read a
let's-
few. Where were you?
But yeah, John Moran.
John Moran, pretending he's got shit connection to go watch Link in 4K. Is that, that's definitely directed at you. How much do you pay for that, by the way? Because you posted that you did about on eBay or something.
Oh, well, I got lucky. So I held off buying it for a while because I couldn't get it for cheaper than 40 quid on eBay, 4K. And it was up for bid on eBay. I bid a couple of times and I won it for 20 quid. I couldn't believe it, really. I thought he'd have a reserve price on it.
20 quid, that was a bit expensive for a monkey film.
No, it's not, man. You can't put a price on love, Jenks.
How
much would you pay for your true love?
I thought you said I can't put a price on a monkey.
Jenks, how much would you pay for your true love?
For my true love. Oh, I'm
for
really
your
tight
true
these
love.
days. Jordan Moran says, Joy Moran says, it's not the best in the franchise, but it's really good. That's a fair comment.
Yes. Yeah,
and he also says, Ghost, that's a horror movie. Right, that's,
guys,
yes.
Please don't ever let that die. Just keep blowing Jenks up.
Palv said, this was the one of the first 15 certificate movies I watched in the cinema, and it scared the life out of me. It is pretty scary.
Yeah, it is. It is. And for the time as well, Jenks, when that came out, Jesus Christ.
Well, all the main bits that scared me when she got dragged out of bed and them just finding the footprint of a demon footprint. I mean, that was like really creepy. Should we move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
So we got Paranormal Activity 2. This came out 2011, is it? Yeah, no, 2010, sorry.
2010.
A year later. So it's basically set... It's kind of... It's
a prequel.
Like a prequel / sequel. It kind of matches up towards the end.
Yes.
So it's set before, because she's got a sister, and you find out a little bit that there's more to the story. I won't spoil it in case someone's seen it, but there's more to their relationship. And you find out her sister's called Christy. Is it Christy? Christy. And she got her own family, a little boy called Hunter, and the same shit's happening to them. They set up cameras, and shit is the fan. And then towards the end, it kind of matches up. It becomes a sequel to the first one. Is that right? I haven't seen it for ages.
Well, not so much a sequel. This one ends where the first one starts. So,
is it? No, I thought they were around.
No. You find out what happens before they pull up outside the house at the start of the first one, and that's where the second one ends.
Right, I see. Yeah, it's been a while. I saw it in the cinema. I have to say, I thought it was even slower than the first one. Which is a good thing in a way, because what these films tend to be is like the first one's slow, then they add until they become fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 6. They kept a slow pace, and at times it's a bit too slow. Like when they fit long shots of that the pool with the pool cleaner that was gone on a bit and was getting a bit bored. But what do you think of this one?
I absolutely love this movie. I prefer this one to the first one. It's still not my favourite Paranormal Activity movie, but again, this one for me, with how much I enjoyed the first one and how much it scared me, like any sequel that succeeds, it needs to be scarier, it needs to be better, it needs to be more entertaining. And for me, this one delivered on all those promises. I just think the first one is a classic because it's the first one, and like I said at the start, for what they done to get it made. But this one for me was the better movie. A lot more entertaining. The scares were better. You've got a small child involved. That's always terrifying. You've got the pet, and there's a great scene in this one where the daughter, she falls asleep on the couch and she feels something creeping on her neck, or you can see some sort of movement, and then she wakes up screaming. Well, she was actually asleep on the couch.
Oh, really?
And she had no idea that was going to happen. So she was actually just chilling on set, fell asleep on the couch. Obviously, the cameras were rolling because it's like CCTV, and they set up that whole scene. So her reaction in that scene was actually real. But yeah, like you said with the story as well, Jenks, this one, again, you start to get that bigger picture of what's going on, how it led to the first one happening. And I've got to say, they come up with a pretty cool concept of how to tie these two movies together.
So for me, I did like this film, but I was a little bit bored in some parts. I thought it was some bits were flat. That's not to say I didn't enjoy it, but I would probably put this in, where is it? I'll put it in Goza.
Top notch, please.
Top notch.
Top notch.
Wait a I can't believe they're so small and they're so all exactly the same. There we go. Top notch. Right. So I'm going to read a few comments. I'll just do it for each one. We've got Batshit Scary. What's up, everybody? Hi, Batshit. How's it going?
Hiya, mate.
John Moran says they sync up at the end, I thought, but it's been a while.
Yeah, they definitely do, yeah.
So the start is a prequel, the end is a sequel. Because she turns up possessed, what's her name?
Yes.
Katie, is it? I forgot
Katie,
her name now.
Katie, yeah, that's it.
Yes. She did. I think they all both got paid. Mika and her got paid like $500 each for that first one. But obviously, then she must have got paid a bit more. And pro Mika, nothing. Oh no, he was the filmmaker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mika's the filmmaker, isn't he?
No.
Isn't he?
Oren Pelly's the filmmaker.
Yeah, Mika's the character. Does Oren Pelly actually play Mika in the first one?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
he's nowhere near as handsome as Mika.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. I've said I love the story they built in the second one. Skilly automatic. You don't speak Welsh.
Unfortunately, no. It's a hard language to learn, even if you grew up around it.
Yeah, Batshit Scary said this one made me my missus cry. Typical missus, they cry over anything. Right after it, one of the kids' toys trains in the hallway started going off by itself. She shit her pants.
That's me all over. That is.
Yeah.
I told you.
The poop angel says, "Hey, hey cuties, hi poop angel." John Moran says, "Batshit crazy."
Go back to full screen, Jenks, while we're doing comments.
Okay, yeah, sorry. All right, in a second. Where are we? Skilly Automatic says number 2 was much slower, too slow. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the problem I had with it. And then Poop Angel says, is Paranormal Activity Tokyo Night on the list, or do they not count? I don't think they're anything to do. I think they just got the same name.
Yeah. Those aren't anything to do with this franchise, I believe.
Yeah.
It's not in my box set anyway.
Should we move on to this baby? We'll go Paranormal 3. Do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, so this is my favourite Paranormal Activity movie. This has always been my favourite one. Again, I've seen just about all of them in cinema, apart from Ghost Dimensions, which I don't think had a wide cinema release over here. But this one blew me away, Jenks. I remember watching this for the first time. Again, like 20 of us went to cinema to see this one. And I absolutely shit myself. And the same thing I said with the second one, they take it up another notch with this one. And I watched it again a couple of weeks ago, Jenks, and it's still absolutely terrifying. Again, we've got another prequel here, but it goes further back to the 80s, I believe, when Katie and her sister are kids. And again, it goes deeper into the lore of the movie and how it all started. And this one kind of delves into the cult element of it and how their gran pays, how their gran comes into it all and how it all started, right? And again, Jinx, you've got 2 young kids in this one. They're the 2 that are mainly dealing with the Paranormal Activity. And you've got this imaginary friend called Toby. Absolute stuff of nightmares. And it's an overdone trope in horror movies where you've got a young kid and she's got an imaginary friend ghost.
Yeah.
And they've always got some sort of cute name like Toby. But this is one of my favourite ones to do it, because you've got that small cupboard in their bedroom that she goes in. They really play well into that character of Toby. Obviously, Toby turns out to be a malignant force and an absolute piece of shit. It fooled me for a while, Jenks. I was like, do you know what? This Toby could be a really good guy. You never know. But yeah, Jenks, this is my favourite Paranormal Activity movie by a long shot. I absolutely love this film.
How come no ghosts are called Jeff? It's always like
Jeff.
Toby or Jacob or
My friend Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, Keith, the ghost.
Yeah, Keith.
or if you're from Wales, it's
Gwynfor. Gwynfor.
Yeah, there's no Jeff the ghost, is there?
Never.
Right, so for me, I really like this one. I preferred it from the second one. The found footage is a bit of a stretch. I mean, they got some really good footage of the 80s. Like, they put it together really well. We found a box of tapes and we recorded everything.
Yeah.
And it's somehow even less grainy than the first one.
Yeah. But you've got to admit, right? The when he puts the camera, he disassembles a fan and he tapes the camera to it, and then you've got those great creepy pan shots that they do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I do like this, and I suppose for a third one, at least it just wasn't the same again of the same kind of let's film a house. It delved deeper, and anything set in the 80s is always a good selling point. So for me, well, you put it on your tier first, Kurt.
Top tier, Jenks. And
top
it gets
tier.
Yes, top tier, boy. It gets a bit icy after this one, Jenks. I promise not everyone's going to be in top tier.
I was going to put this in different order, but unfortunately, when I uploaded it, it just went in the right order because I downloaded them in the correct order. But anyway, for me, I would say Goza for this one. It's pretty solid. I think I prefer it to the second one.
Yeah,
but I can't quite stick it on top notch.
That's fair enough.
Because I have seen the first one multiple times.
Yeah.
I have not. I haven't seen the third one multiple times. So something keeps me going back to the first one. Anyway, read it. Do you want to read a few comments before we go to the next one?
Yeah, Palf. Oh, the third one is so scary. It is. It's definitely the scariest Paranormal Activity for me. And you've got the Bloody Mary scenes as well. She's a nasty bitch as well. The Poop Angel says it's a good movie and follows the events after the first Paranormal Activity movie. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Eli Cortez is in the house. He says, "What's up, Jenks and Curtis? The Twisted Nights. We need to officially make that a thing, Jenks. The Twisted Nights."
He's pushing it. He's pushing it every week, isn't he?
Hope you're good, Eli, pal. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Gina saying hello to Eli there. Lovely comment here from Skilly Automatic. By the way, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Thanks for the memories. Yeah. Jenks, what is your favourite Val Kilmer movie?
What? I'm trying to think now. I really like Top Secret.
Yeah, great.
And do you know, there's another one I can't think. He used to be so cool. He was so ultra good looking as a kid with no confidence. I was just thinking, I was so jealous of the way he looked. Him and Keanu Reeves. I was just like, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Do you know his greatest character of all time?
Iceman.
Dieter von Kuntz.
Do you know, I'm drawing a few blanks on some of his films because his career went kind of nosedived in the 90s, not like late 90s.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a Shane Black movie. That's fantastic.
I saw that with Robbie Downey Jr.
Yes, lovely comment though. Definitely rest in peace to an absolute legend.
I know. I'm so glad his last film was Top Gun 2 because that's a hell of a good film to go out on. Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know. And good for his a good little run back. Eli says, always great to see MC Geordie. Rest in peace, Iceman. Poop Angel says, I liked Paranormal Activity 3, but I thought the demon turned into a big puppy named Toby was kind of cheesy.
Can't argue with that.
At least you don't see him, so that's always a plus. John says, third one is absolutely class. The video camera is extra creepy and the end payoff is fucking mental. Oh, I know. Do you know when they're at their grandparents' house and you've got that little walkway that goes into some sort of shed, outhouse, and they open the door and there's just loads of people in there with their head down? Oh, my God. Blood curdling.
Why have all these cults always got like old grannies somehow, like old grannies, old men? There's always something more sinister, isn't there? Because I suppose it's like, why are ghost kids so scary? Because they're not scary in real life. And I think when you add like something sinister attached, it's always better.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on to number 4?
I've got 2 more comments, Jenks. 2 seconds. Eli says, doing great, my guys. Thanks, love you guys. Eli, you're an absolute legend. Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
Appreciate you every time. The Poop Angel, I love saying this, Poop Angel. My comment is a good movie and follows the events after the first Paranormal Activity movie. It was about Paranormal Activity 2, Tokyo Night. But I don't think Katie makes an appearance. That's fair enough. Fair enough. And we've got Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Hope you're doing good. Let's get the next one going, Jenks.
Right. So, Paranormal Activity 4 came out 2012. They were churning these out every year. It's
they were just making silly money.
They were cheap to make, see. This one stars. It's probably the only star of the whole thing. Obviously, she wasn't a star at the time. Catherine Newton, who's pretty massive at the moment. She's popping up in everything. She's clocking
Lisa
up.
Frankenstein's so good.
Yeah, Lisa Frankenstein. Abigail, she stole the show in that. I think.
She absolutely did. And Freaky was great as well.
Yeah, she's becoming a bit of a scream queen. A lot of these girls, though, the big stars, they've all sort of cutting their teeth on sort of horrors.
It's got to be one of the only eras in horror where there's big stars constantly doing horror movies.
Yeah,
and they're mostly females, but you've got a lot of like really bankable stars now just doing horror movies. It's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
So this one, I can't remember as much as the other one. So it's set in now. It's not another prequel. And I think they're living...
It's the first sequel, really. It's the first one to take part after the first movie.
Yeah, you might have to sum this up because this is probably the one that I've the least memory on. Because it kind of blends into the other ones. I remember her seeing a little boy outside. I remember a few jump scares, and isn't it that they live in the house?
No.
So it's when they were young, the Katie's house when they were young.
No,
isn't it?
No,
sure.
No. So 100%. It's a completely new house, complete new family. No connection to the first one whatsoever. But obviously, after the events of the second movie, Hunter was taken.
Hunter, yes, that's right.
By Katie. And there's a creepy little kid knocking about their house, and he lives across the road, but I believe his mother or guardian is away, so he comes to stay with them for a while. And she's got an adopted little brother, and that's all I'll say. But they do connect it to the first and second one, but this is a completely new family and a completely new destination. But the first time I watched this movie, I wasn't a fan at all, right? Obviously, with them being released so close together, you're riding this wave now of 1, 2, and 3. And in my head, 2 was better than 1, 3 was better than 2 and 1. And then the fourth one's coming out. Again, we all go to cinema to watch this one. And I was massively disappointed with this one. I walked to a cinema, pretty disappointed. I didn't get any sort of fear out of this one. It was too slow. The scares were nowhere near as good as the previous ones. They play into this. At the time, Xbox Connect was really big, and it sent out sensors. Yeah, so you've got all those scenes where you get the sensors picking up the ghosts, and they played into that too much.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to go anywhere. It was long shots of nothing.
Exactly, and then I never went back and watched this one, right? I always went back. I watched 1, 2, and 3, but I never bothered revisiting this one. But recently, when I watched them all, I watched this one again, and I enjoyed it a lot more than the first time I watched it, and especially watching it so close together with the other 3 and seeing how well the story ties up.
Yeah.
It went up a fair amount in my book. It's still not by far the best Paranormal Activity movie, but I got a fair amount of enjoyment out of this one. A lot of it lends its hand to Catherine Newton now being a big star, and me liking her as an actress. That obviously played into me enjoying it more. But yeah, I was genuinely chuffed. I watched it and I thought, you know what, it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was, or remembered.
This is my least. This is the one I remember the least. Like, I remember
Yeah.
the connection with Hunter, the little boy, and because it almost feels like a completely new story, new family,
Yeah,
and they kind of connect it. And I do like the fact that it feels fresh, like another direction.
yeah.
But I do remember thinking, yeah, they're stretching the concept at this point now. It's not a shit film. It's not like Nightmare on Elm Street 6 or something. This is still
No,
good.
of course.
But I would. So I'm gonna let me get my tier up. So for me, because it's the least memorable for me, I'm gonna stick this. Bear with me. Where are we? In Casper. What about
Yeah,
you?
I'm going to agree with you. I did enjoy it a lot more on my second watch, but I can't put it second.
No, that's fair. Hey, guess what we got here? We've got Frank Riker in the house. He's given us a $5 super chat. Oh, really appreciate that, pal. You're top man. Fair play.
Yeah, Frank, thank you so much, pal. And thank you for jumping on, mate. We've got to
Yeah.
get... I'd love to do a video of you soon, mate. We've done one with Darren. We'd love to get you and Darren on, mate, to have a good chat about something. But yeah, thank you, pal. We appreciate that so much.
Yeah, if
You're
you
a legend.
so Frank has got an awesome channel. He does it with Darren, and it's called the Slaughtered Lamb, or TSL. They are absolutely killing it. We basically try and steal everything we can off their show. We just watch and just steal. Because yes, no, they got an awesome show. They got
I can't imagine them ranking Paranormal Activity, Jenks.
No, but I gotta say that I watched their live the other day, and it was they were tearing Jason's mask off, like revealing his,
Yeah.
and I thought, when I first thought, how are they going to make a show of that? But actually, it's pretty much he's been unmasked so many times. It was a great show. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Right.
Does the first one count because he didn't have a mask on? That's the big question.
Yeah, I think they did. I can't remember. They were probably, having to stretch a little bit to fill the try. Yeah. Right. Where are we now? We are on We're on We are on the marked ones.
Yeah.
Right. This came out 2014. Okay, so this is kind of. It's not it's connected, but it's very, very not connected. It's really
It
loose.
is, boy.
Right, yeah. So it's basically set in, I think it's in Mexico or New Mexico, I can't remember. And somebody gets kind of powers. He gets marked, and he's got superpowers, but he's cursed, and he's changing, and it's pretty shit. Pretty shit.
Jenks,
What?
I really like this one.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I do. Do you know what, right?
This is like trying to be
Jenks,
like Chronicle, and it's
you didn't
failed.
even try and sell that movie then, right? At least act interested, Jenks, all right?
It's the only good
It's
bit,
not
isn't
a bad movie at all. And again, same with the fourth one, right? When this came out, I thought, oh my God, they're absolutely stretching it. I don't need them to go completely away from the first one to try and create something new. I didn't need that. I would rather them just go back to a house, create new scares. It didn't even have to be connected to the other ones, right? So when I watched it when it first came out, I thought, it's fine or whatever. But again, on rewatch, Jenks, I really enjoyed it.
What I didn't like about it was the superhero element. I did not enjoy it.
There's some silly moments where he's like skateboarding down the railings and doing all crazy stuff. There is some silly stuff in there, right? But there's also some great horror moments in there. All great performances. I love seeing his deterioration as he's being possessed by this demon. And that flat that they break into, you've got that woman, because they live in this it's not an apartment complex. Well, they call them something in America where it's like buildings connected, but they're not quite high, just a couple of floors, I don't think they need explaining that much. It doesn't even matter. But obviously there's rumours that she's into all sort of witchcraft, so he breaks into there with his friends, and she's got this underground basement, and she's obviously been doing some sort of ritual in there, and obviously messing about inside this woman's flat, he gets marked and cursed, and that's where the film starts. But again, up until the last 20 minutes of this movie, you think it's a complete spin-off, but they tie it in brilliantly, Jenks. You can't, if you remember the ending,
I do remember the ending.
is fantastic. And again, where they go to their grand's house from the first few movies, and they've got, you know, their cool friend with a shotgun with them.
Yeah.
There's some great bits in there, Jenks. I thoroughly enjoyed this one.
So initially, I always thought that when it was kind of trying to be like a horror film / chronicle, because it came out 2 years after, and it's got that vibe when he's getting picked on, he just blasts them and they go flying. But I initially thought that this was a separate script floating about, and they just stamped on Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I know that's not the case, but initially I thought that's what they'd done.
Yeah.
I also felt like I was next to King, but it was still part of the same franchise.
Well, it's not though, is it?
No. But it's this. He still produced it, though. The Oren, what's his name?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So for me, look, I'm going to be harsh, Kurt, because something's got to go in there. I know nothing's going to go in there, but it's going in there. Fuck it. It's going in there. Shit.
I'm putting a second one down, Jenks. I really enjoy this movie.
Well, that does not surprise me.
Second one down, by one up, one up.
Sorry.
Don't cheat him out of that
Whoa,
second
goes
spot,
there.
Jenks.
Jesus.
Yes. I'm telling you, Jenks. When's the last time you watched it?
When it first came out.
Yeah, it's not a bad film at all. I'm telling you. I
Right.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Don Keats says, hello, Curtis. I hope you're feeling better. Hello, Jenks. Sorry I'm late. There's a derby on TV at the moment, Liverpool versus Everton. 0-0 at the moment. Myself rooting for the Reds.
Hiya, Don. Feeling much better, thank you.
Yes, hi, Don. Curtis and I are not football people at all, are we?
No.
Definitely not. But enjoy the game, and you can enjoy our show at the same time. Right, shall we move on to we're on Ghost Dimension.
Ghost Dimensions.
Where are we? There we go. Ghost Dimension. Do you want to kick this off? I saw this when it first came out. I didn't see it in the cinema. I saw it on DVD. But yeah, you kick it off.
Yeah. So what they did with this one is the only thing that makes Paranormal Activity terrifying. They show us the activity. So I think the best thing about the Paranormal Activity franchise is what you don't see. It's always worked well for the other ones. And they make this one and they say, this time you're going to see the activity. And that is not what we want at all.
No.
And the activity's awful, Jenks.
It's terrible.
It looks like some sort of goo that drips from the floor to the roof.
It's like venom.
So seeing the activity itself was the biggest thing that let this movie down, right? It's such a put off. The CGI is done badly. It just doesn't look good. But that aside, right, it's not a bad film at all. The story's brilliant. The tie-in to the original movies is fantastic. Probably one of the most inventive things they've done in the whole franchise. I genuinely believe if they took the activity out of this one, so you didn't actually see the demons or the ghosts, it would have been a much better movie. It was a big put off for me. It was something that I walked away from feeling a bit let down with.
Yeah.
But this one has got the best jump scare of all of them, right? I genuinely... And I knew it was coming the second time I watched it, and I still absolutely shit myself. Look at that. That is terrible.
Yeah, I know. It looks
It's
as
much-
venom as shit.
Yeah, it's much scarier when you can't see it.
Yeah.
There's a bit where the two brothers, the father and his brother, they're walking through the house and he's got his camera and you see something in the corner, like the activity, and it jumps towards them. Obviously, you've got the big scream as well. It is one of the best scares I've had in the Paranormal Activity franchise. And it's a really well-made movie. This isn't some shit knockoff that they just chucked out. It's a really well-made movie. It's got a good budget. The acting's great. They just let it down with that shit blob thing.
Yeah, and they sort of splice a little bit of time travel in, if I remember, isn't it?
They do, yeah, because you can see they're watching Katie and her sister. I can't remember her sister's name now.
Christy.
So what happened to them after the second movie where they were both kidnapped? No, after the third movie where they were both kidnapped and taken to their grand's house. They find tapes of their grand training them to become a part of the cult. Yeah. But as they're watching the tapes, Katie and her sister are reacting to them watching the tapes, which I gotta say, it's a pretty cool concept, Jags.
I just think trying to splice in time travel and all this, it reminded me a little bit, I don't know what came first actually, is it Insidious 2? Was it Insidious 2?
Maybe.
Because that's
I
got
don't know.
that's got time travel in it, which is
Yeah.
when you put it into a ghost film. The great thing about part one is that again you don't see a lot. This one, I don't mind you seeing a lot more, but they show way too much. That demon.
Oh, it's just the slop going up and down the...
It reminded me of like that shit film by Andy Machete, Mama. Where it's just
Mama.
Mama, is it? Or Mama.
Yeah.
And it's just full on CGI venom, black goo. I don't even like the hole in the wall. It's way too much. I would rather it be everything subtle. Like I said, they could have made the last one seen a lot more, but it's still showing too much. It's way too much.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. There was so many elements in this movie. It's like they had this great concept. They'd written the script. They got some good ideas behind it, and someone came along and just said, "We need action. We need to see the activity. You have to chuck all these things in." I think it's 3D, Jenks. They chucked in some 3D stuff for cinema, and I don't even think it got a big cinema release anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
No, this is
This one had the makings of a great movie for me. And look, we're talking about the Paranormal Activity franchise, and in terms of Paranormal Activity movies, it's a pretty solid film.
What are you going to put it in, Kurt?
Third one down, Casper.
Casper.
Yeah.
I'll probably join you because I disliked my Mark ones much more. I didn't hate this. I was disappointed. So I think Casper's only fair. So Poop Angel says this one feels like it was competing with the Conjuring and the Insidious movies. Yeah, I think so. I think she's got a point. Right, we're on the last one now. We're timing this really well. We said we'd do an hour, and it's 8:47.
Doing good.
That's amazing and just coincident. We are on. So I'll kick this one off because that's the freshest in my mind because I only watched it a couple of years ago. This didn't have a wide release. It came out in COVID. It came out 2021.
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Yeah, I think it was released in a few cinemas, maybe very, very limited. But again, you can forgive the poor box office or whatever because it's COVID. This one is it's not linked at all unless it's very subtle, but it's a group of friends. I think they break down or get stranded.
No.
They're filming in an Amish village.
Because one of them finds out she's from that village,
Yes. So this is where it stretches. So this Amish family village allows them to film. And you're thinking like, they would never. Not in a million years.
Yeah, but Jenks, the ending of the movie, you've got to think about the ending of the film.
And you've got this sort of like a hole in the ground, like it's kind of a wishing well. And it is quite creepy. I didn't hate this as much as some of the others, but it was a little bit disappointing because you have a scene where they go down this hole in the ground early on in the film, or relatively early on, and then the finale is set down, and you're thinking, this should have just been the finale. That terror of what's down that well when whatever you call it, a hole in the wall, a hole in the ground. But they kind of used it too soon, and I was disappointed.
I kind of disagree with you on that one. I think it's much later than you remember for when they actually go down the hole, and the film kind of wraps up as they're coming back up from the hole because they mess up the ritual that they've set down that hole, and they're basically... I just want to talk about the ending, Jenks, because it's a hard one not to talk about the ending because I had problems with this movie in the first half and then they all make sense in the second half because you find out things about the community and what they actually are, what they're actually not.
Yeah.
I think this is a very solid film. I enjoyed it less the second time I watched it. It is quite slow. I did have some problems with how obnoxious and idiotic they are. Yeah. I mean... at the start of the film, they don't know that these people are up to no good, right? And they don't know that they're into any sort of devil worshipping or they're harbouring any sort of dark secret. And they're still obnoxious and horrible the whole film. They're absolute idiots, right? They have no respect whatsoever for their community, no respect for their house. I'm sounding like an old man here, but These are things that bothered me because
Yeah.
before they actually go snooping, because they think there's something dark going on, and she finds out that her mother was forced to give her away. Up until that moment, it done my head in, and it's kind of something I didn't quite get over. But the second half of this movie, Jenks, is fantastic. And when they get up from that well and all hell breaks loose, when they're running through the fields around the house and the surrounding areas, everything is just on fire. Everyone's killing each other.
Yeah.
It is hell on earth. And they obviously unleash the demon that these people have been holding back.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I think it's an absolute solid movie, although I would almost, Jenks, not even put it on the Paranormal Activity ranking list because it is remotely connected to them.
Yeah, the end is balls to the wall. Everything's
it's insane.
burning and fighting, and it's quite violent. It's actually probably the most violent of all.
Ultra violent.
I think this is a strange one because it's not linked to Katie and Christy at all. Because you're watching, you're thinking, is it going to connect some way? But it's like, I think they were hoping it'd be a success. They were going to be able to branch out and continue the franchise, but obviously COVID just killed it.
Do you know, as far as the 7th movie in a franchise goes, and a spin-off and something that isn't connected to the first ones or the first 6, it's an extra solid movie.
Well, I remember watching this. I remember maybe you told me to watch it and you recommended it, and I remember thinking, I was expecting to be dog shit, but I did enjoy it, and I think I'll put it up to Goza.
I agree with you, Jenks. I think if this movie was just called Next of Kin, it wasn't connected to Paranormal Activity at all, I think a lot of people would have less problems with it. There really isn't much wrong with it other than the stuff that I just mentioned about their disrespectful behaviour.
Yes.
And it's got a fantastic second half. I mean, the set pieces are amazing, Jenks. That whole well scenes in the dungeon underneath, the acting's great. It's an extremely solid film.
Yes, and I think a lot of people watching tonight would have seen at least 3 of these and definitely would have avoided the last one, but the last one's is pretty decent, I think. I think it's worth it.
I'd even watch Ghost Dimensions. If you've been holding off watching Ghost Dimensions because you don't like the look of it, I highly recommend it for a 6th movie in a series.
Yeah.
And you can do much worse.
Yeah, surprised they haven't pumped out another one considering they're so cheap to produce.
Well, there's been talks of one for a while. They'll probably let it lay a little bit longer and bring something big back, but I'd love to see more movies in this franchise. I've just heard that we're getting another Insidious movie.
Yeah.
I don't care, guys. Keep knocking them out. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. There's already 6 of them. Who cares? Keep knocking them out.
I do, even though I'll slag things off. Like I'm a big Red Dwarf fan, and it hasn't been good since season 6, right? And they're on season 13, and I hate them, the shit. But I can't wait for the next one. I'm like, when are they going to make a new Red Dwarf? Skilly Automatic says, I didn't even connect the Next to King was a part of the franchise. I know it says so right there. Eli Cota says, I have this one on DVD, but haven't seen it yet. You're a proper movie fan like Curtis, because he's got movies he hasn't seen. He's still in the cellophane.
Hey, only one. Return of the Living Dead.
That was the only
3.
one. John Moran says, no respect. They don't wipe their feet when they enter the shithole barn.
John, if you've seen the film, right, they keep that barn pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's a pretty tight ship.
Every time I see a movie with Amish family, I cannot think of Kingpin. Have you seen Kingpin?
Yeah, of course I have.
Kingpin is one of the most underrated comedies ever.
There's that great bit where there's like a really close-up shot of him, and he's talking about like, no one trusts me and everybody thinks that I can't do stuff on my own, and he's giving this whole speech about like, he's a grown man and he can do things his way, and then the camera like zooms out. There's 2 guys beside him in urinals, and he's sitting down backwards in the urinal.
He's sitting there with a newspaper.
Biggest shame of that movie that Bill Murray wasn't in it more.
Well, maybe that's what's great about it. That you just had enough of him, and you just left you wanting more. John Moran says, I've not actually seen this. I've just realised. I just forgot.
John, it's well worth a watch, pal.
Eli says, I really like the marked one. When Well, fair play. Yeah, maybe that's worth me revisiting.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the marked ones on rewatch.
Eli also says thoughts on the new Elm Street movie that was greenlit with Jack back in the glove. Jackie back in the glove. I thought he was going to say Jack Black in the glove. I thought, what?
Yeah, I know.
Is this like April Fool's? Because he's in everything.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I haven't heard anything.
Is it? Maybe it's an April Fool. Maybe it's an news from Monday.
Jack Earl Healy, some of the guys' names.
So oddly enough, I watched this the other day, the remake again. I thought, you know what, I was hard on the Jason remake when it first came out, and I really enjoy that now. And I thought I'm gonna give Elm Street another go. Look, it's not the worst film in the world. There's a lot worse, but it just falls flat. He's a good actor. Jack, he's a really good actor, but he cannot deliver these sort of quirky lines with that voice. It just doesn't work at all. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to read a few of these to wrap it up? Yeah,
let's do it. Eli says, Kingpin is fucking great. Bill Murray's character is hilarious. Oh, all day.
Yeah.
My favourite word to say, the Poop Angel says, what do you think would make a good Paranormal Activity movie in 2025? Vlogging, YouTube, live streams. Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do one now, they would absolutely do something to, you'd have drones, you'd have all sort of new technology that they would use. But I would love them to reboot it, new family, new stakes, new everything, and incorporate some, new technology. I mean, they did a great job with Deadstream, my favourite found footage movie, where, you've got all this new technology, he's a YouTuber, and you've got, all these crazy tech cameras and what are they called? Drones and shit. GoPros, drones, all that stuff. I'd love to see him give it another stab.
Yeah, and like it could be like a Host sort of style. I love that movie.
Yeah, Host is awesome. Amazing. That's the real Paranormal Activity 2000s.
Yes.
2020s. 2000s.
Yeah, and that came out 2020 before Mexican, and it cost a fraction of the price.
Yeah, so good.
Did I read the last
Sorry, I forgot I was the one reading then. John says, I might binge these the weekend along with both Street Trash, obviously. Yes! John, I cannot wait for you to see Street Trash, mate. You're either going to love it or hate it. But we seem quite similar in taste, so you'll probably love it.
If you love it, Jordan, I will judge you, okay? There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it.
Skilly Automatic says, I can't wait for the first Paranormal Activity without thinking of Scary Movie parody and passing gas under the sheets. Yeah, you've got Paranormal Activity 5 was... Scary Movie 5 was Paranormal Activity, wasn't it? Yeah, with Kate Ashton or something.
So, have you seen The Simpsons parody of Paranormal Activity?
No.
The scene where Katie's just standing there for ages and the clock is going fast because she's been there for hours standing. Yeah. Well, in The Simpsons, you got Marge is possessed and she's just standing there while Homer's peeing. And hours are going by and he's still peeing while she's standing there. Yeah, she's been there the same length of time. And his hands are behind his back.
Poop Angel says, maybe about 2 cute YouTubers who were haunted by Toby while rating the movies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to blush now. I'm sure I know what that's about. And Jordan says, I definitely love it or hate it. Yeah, there's no in between. You've got to love it or hate it. There's no it was okay.
No. There's deeper. There's despise. It
Shut
is
up,
a
Jenks.
piece
Jenks,
of shit.
We've had enough for your rotten mind.
Jordan's fault. He brought it up, okay? We said we weren't going to bring it up anymore.
Enough of your rotten mind.
Anyway, we said we'd do an hour. We couldn't have timed it better, Kurt. Look at that. 59:29. Oh, my God. And, we didn't even rush it. It was literally an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I did. I just wanted to get it done.
You want to go to bed. Right, guys.
I want to watch Link.
Cheers for jumping on, right, on a Wednesday. We are going to try to do a Wednesday every week. So there's some people who can't make it on Sunday. Ideally, we'd love everyone to jump on both shows because they'd be very different. But yeah, if you're on Facebook, jump on our group, Twisted Locker. If you know anybody who likes the channel, who think you might like the channel, tell them to subscribe, tell them to check us out.
Make them subscribe.
Make them to...
That's it. That's what I want to say. No, Guys, thank you so much. I didn't think we'd have 10 people on a last-minute Wednesday live.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you
was
so
last
much,
minute.
everyone who jumped on. You're absolutely awesome. I enjoyed that one. I think it was just a bit of a throwaway idea, but I enjoyed it.
Yes. Right, we will be back on Sunday at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
We haven't decided on a theme yet, have we?
No. Is Death of a Unicorn out this week? Sure is.
Yes. So tomorrow. Oh, no,
There
it's
we are.
Friday.
is
Yeah,
it?
anyway, we will be
Maybe we can try and
Sunday, 7 p.m. And what are you laughing at?
Eli, and Ghost wasn't part of his horror list.
Cheeky bastard. I was going
it
to
coming.
put on the tier Patrick Swayze. But I just thought, is he lower or higher than Casper?
Lower.
No way. Actually,
Lower.
Sam Wheat fucks some people up. He does,
Lower by.
Anyway, we'll see you on Sunday, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Thanks all. Have a lovely
guys.
week.